Contouring. Why do people make it look so complicated when it doesn't need to be? Let's face it, the majority of videos that we see about contouring, highlighting and blusher tend to be this sort of painting by numbers, and an advanced painting by numbers at that. But it doesn't need to be so complicated. So in this video, I am going to talk you through step by step how to contour, highlight and do blusher throughout the whole of your face to get a fresh, glowing skin. Not only that, I'm going to show you the easy way. I've got very few products. First of all, I've got this by Sleek. This is a contouring palette. They do them in 3 different colour ranges, light, medium and dark. I've got the light one today. I've also got a hydrating spray. This is also by Sleek. The reason why I like this brand, and I'm starting to use a bit more by Sleek to be honest, it's vegan, cruelty free, so yeah, it's a good name we want to be using. Beauty blenders and some brushes. That's all we're going to use today. I'm going to go through. You want to have a clean face. Don't do contouring when you've got your eye makeup done or eyebrows or anything like that. We almost want this clean blank canvas because we're shaping and we want to see the face. Anything else you've got on there makeup wise is going to detract the eye. So we just want your face to look plain. In the nicest way. I've got a very, very light touch of foundation on. Nothing else, no concealer, no powder, just a very light coating of foundation. When you look at the influencers out there, these young influencers, what they tend to do is apply all 3 products at the same time. They'll apply the contour, they'll apply the highlighter, and they'll apply the brusher, and then they get the beauty blender or the brush, and they will start blending it all in. Now, I can't deny that their end results don't look fantastic. They do, but their skin is tight, and it doesn't move as much as our skin tends to do. So I'm going to do it in 3 separate steps, which means that you apply your contour, you place it, you know where it is, you then apply your highlighter, you can see exactly where that needs to go, and we finish off with our blusher. For me, it's just so much easier, and it also makes so much more sense. I think we all know by now that anything dark makes things recede, so it's things we want to make less of, and anything light makes it highlighted, it brings it forward. So what we're trying to do is get sort of higher cheeks. If we want our cheeks to be higher, we want them to be lighter. If we're trying to make them more prominent, we need to create some shadow underneath. So it's underneath the cheekbones that we need to have our contour. Taking either a thin makeup brush or a makeup pencil, we're just going to take a line and looking straight forward into the mirror, you're going down through the middle of your pupil and you're going to get a line here. You don't want anything to go inside that line. You don't have to draw it, it's an imaginary line, but nothing should come forward. So whatever we're applying, we're not going to bring it further forward than there. Now, when it comes to contouring, go top of the ear, corner of the mouth, okay? You should really have your cheekbone above that line. Well, contour is going to go underneath because we want to push that back in order to bring your cheekbone forward. So looking at the contouring palette here, we're going to start off with our contour, but make sure to get the light there. And I'm going to use this here, which is the darkest of all the colours. I'm trying to use minimal products and minimal tools, brushes today. You're not a makeup artist, you don't need a rack of all these different numbered brushes. The same brush can do so many different things. So all I'm going to show you is, this is the method I use, and you find the best or the nearest thing that you've got. Let's make it as easy as we can. I'm just going to take a flat foundation brush. So I've got my foundation on, very light coating of foundation. There's no powder. The idea being we need the face to feel hydrated. We need the face to have that M-word, moist. You know what I mean. If your face feels particularly dry, this is when your hydrating mist comes in. They aren't expensive, but if you give yourself a little spritz with a hydrating spray, what you'll find is everything blends so much easier. So I'm just going to give very fine spritz. Now, once that's gone on, we need to allow that to settle. What we're not doing is applying anything while that is still wet. So I'm just going to give that now 2 minutes. That's all it needs to settle. Okay, that's settled. Taking my brush and taking the darker of my palette, which is my contour, I'm going to do, as you see them do, get plenty on the brush because it is a creamy product, and I'm just taking my line underneath my cheekbone. And do the same on both sides at the same time. So if you do one thing on one side, always match it up at the same time. We're going to get it a little bit more symmetrical. Now, I've got a high forehead. Quite a large forehead, so I want to bring my forehead down. So I'm literally going to just take like an X. Let's just put like an X at the 2 sides of my forehead. If you've got a very high forehead and you want to bring your forehead down, just dab, okay, around the hairline. Next area we want to try and hide or reduce, should we say, are going to be the jowls, the dreaded jowls. So we're not going on top and in the front, we're almost lifting your head up, and you want to get it just slightly underneath that chin area. Now, if you take this too far on the top, okay, on the front of your face, what you'll do is you'll almost soften that chin line, where we want to create a harsher chin line. So you must make sure you don't take it. If you took your finger there, it must go underneath. Don't take it on the top. And we'll do the same on the other side. So there we go. Next, I'm going to just take a smaller brush. This is my concealer brush, actually. And I'm going to take a little bit down the side of my nose there, and the side of my nose there. So from the eye socket at the top, what we're not doing is blending it in yet. I'm just showing you the line. Now, I've got a bump on the side of my nose. I had an operation on my nose, so I've got the scar on the bump. So I'm making sure it goes on the bump and not underneath it, because if it goes underneath it, it's just going to highlight it. It's going to make it stand out even more. And then just give your nose a little bit of shape at the bottom. That is really easy to do. This is where I think it gets complicated. When we start applying everything else and then we try and merge it all in, for me, you're simply mixing the colours. And when your skin's a bit looser and your skin moves when we're trying to also smudge it, you just get this sort of mangled mess. You've got two options. You can use a brush or you can use the beauty blender. Let's have a look at both. I'll do one on one side and one on the other. So you're almost just stippling this. What you don't want to be doing is brushing it. We're almost just stippling that, and we're going underneath the cheek. Remember, we're not coming in further than that line there, and we're taking it under the cheekbone. Round the corners at the top, stippling again, get your hair up. Try and get it in the hairline. That's okay. If you've got white, blonde, the silver hair, the gorgeous silver hair, obviously be very careful. You don't want to be taking it into your hair. It's going to stain your hair. Very obvious, we don't want to be doing that. And then under the chin, we're stippling that down there. And then this is a bit big, I'll be honest, the side of the nose. So I'm going to go to my beauty blender down the side of the nose because the brush is a little bit too big. I've got a beauty blender on the other side and I'm doing the same again. I personally like the beauty blender, but the choice is yours. There's a lot of people that talk about beauty blenders and saying that they're not hygienic. You can put your beauty blenders in one of those little lingerie bags that you get for the washing machine. I put them in there and I put them through the washing machine. They come out beautifully clean. I need the smaller beauty blender, taking it down the edge of the nose. We're now moving on to highlighter. Now I've only got the one concealer brush, so I'm going to use the same brush, but I don't want the contouring product on there because it's dark and it's just going to mix. So this is my brush cleaner. The great brush cleaners. You spray your brush, and what's great about them is they clean the brush, but then the brush is dry afterwards, so you can use them straight away. That's dry, so I can use that now for my highlighter. With the products here, when you look at the highlighter, we have sort of different shades. We've got one that's more of a yellowy one, and we've got a pinky one. If you saw my video on concealer, you'll see the difference between the pink and the yellows. The pinks tend to neutralise sort of deeper, darker colours. So I use the pinks down here. They neutralise the purples, the blues. So if you've got the veins. The yellows are more of a brightening highlighter. So I'm going to take the pinky one first of all, and I'm just taking that underneath the eye. I'm only going in that sort of trough area under the eye. I'm going to go around the edge of the nose. And I'm going to take it down what we call these nasolabial folds. Down there, because we want to bring those out, don't we? Wipe my brush again. So I'm taking more of this one here, which is more of the yellow. This I'm going to take as my highlighter over my cheek and the outer corners of my eye. So I'm taking this on my cheekbone because I want to lift that cheekbone, but I'm also going on the corners of my eye there. If you saw the video I did on lipsticks or lip liners, you'll see that some mouths are naturally happy, smiley mouths and some are sadder mouths. So if we take this on the corners of the mouth, we can blend it in and then you can create your own lip line. So just take that there, a little bit on the top, the Cupid's bow. And where I'm also going to take it is just slightly underneath the eyebrows at the top. Gorgeous. I think beauty blenders here are a lot easier to use. And we're stippling again. So I'm using the smaller beauty blender. I'm going to take the yellow one again, a little bit, let's just lift that a little bit around there. And I'm just going to take a little bit on the tip of my nose. Down there, because we're trying to get that slim, narrow look with our nose. And the final place I'm just going to put a little bit of the yellow is just on the chin there. That just brings the chin forward a little bit, and that all helps me to get this jawline round here. Now, when we've done that, what's really important at this stage is we hydrate the skin again. This hydration makes such a difference because not only does it set your makeup, it stops it settling in lines, it stops it looking caked, it stops it going flaky, and it gives you a much more flawless finish. That feels very light on my skin. I don't feel like it's heavy or caked in the slightest. That's given us our nice base for contouring. We've got some highlight, but we haven't finished yet. What I'm going to move on to the next stage is, this is my Laura Geller. We've got a full set in there, some of the contour, we've got highlighter, and we've got a nice pink blush in there as well. So I'm just taking the brown bronzer contour, and we're doing the same thing. Now, the reason why we're going on top of this is almost doubling up as a setting powder, as well as the contour. So you're going to just go over the same areas. Remember, don't go on this chin area. Don't put it on it because you're just going to blend it and flatten it out. We need to keep it chiseled. I'm not using the same brush because that's now got my dark contour, my bronzer on it. If I'm going to put some blusher on it in pink, I don't want to be mixing. This is why I have separate brushes. A little bit of the pink. And this is where we just take it on that appley bit there. And I'm using this for the highlighter. And I'm just going to go on top there and extend this highlighter. Take it underneath the eyebrows, taking it down the nose. So get that lovely chiseled shaped nose. Take it on my chin. Finally, to finish off, I just have it's like a powder brush. It's just got clear powder, but I don't apply powder every time. And I just brush over my whole face. Let's just make sure everything goes into one. Let's have a little look at this and now. Oh, so there we have contour, highlighter and blusher. Now it's quick, it's easy, but what I would say is do them separately. Don't think you need to do it all in one go. You don't. I've no eye makeup on, I've no lipstick on. Of course, that's going to finish off the makeup. I have put a bit of my eye makeup on and I put my lipstick on, so now you can see the full result. But it's natural, it doesn't feel heavy, it doesn't feel caked, but we have more shape and contour to the face. I'll put a link below of what you can get and what you can use, but any questions, do ask in the comments. I'd love to know what you'd like me to help you out with. And also let me know in the comments what video you would like me to make that answers a question that you have at the moment. Tell me. Whatever it is about your beauty skincare regime, let me know in the comments and I will look into making a video especially for you. If you do enjoy my content and you've enjoyed this video, of course I would love you to subscribe. It does make a big difference, and don't forget that notification bell. All that does is it puts you on the VIP list because you're the first to hear whenever a new video comes out. Thank you so much again for your support. I always love it, and I will see you in the next video. You take care. Bye for now.